What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 152nd edition of the Sports Reality. My name is Jeremy John, aka the fourth greatest Grenadian of all time.
Perfect.
Aka the Little Wayne of podcasts, because I will get on any podcast and hit it with the J train.
Perfect.
Let's welcome my co-host, Cousin BigThad. BigThad, what's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's a new day. Having a little technical difficulty. So, folks, if you see me kind of like move kind of weirdly, don't worry about it. I'm still here.
It's all good. It's all good. BigThad, you got your second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. How you feeling, man?
Feeling fine, man. Been hearing different things from different folks, especially some friends of mine that have gotten it so far, and they're having some reactions to it. So like, having to drink a lot of water because they're dehydrated, or they're like, one buddy of mine said a foggy mind or something like that. And all that stuff. But now I'm good, man. I woke up this morning thinking I would feel a little different. No, I feel exactly the same, man. Didn't wake up with a COVID hangover today because I've been drinking lots of water. I also before the test I took like 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C and vitamin D, which probably helped out some. So
true.
I don't know. But other than that, I'm feeling good, man. I'm happy. Got the second dose. Gotta wait. I think they said 10 days. And then you're somewhat vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I mean, I'm still going to do what I've been doing, making my contact limited to some folks. But, that's mostly because the past year I ain't heard from some of these folks. But, yeah, besides the family, besides the family, I'm down. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to have like a little cookout, whatever, we can meet up. You know what I'm saying? Have a little something.
Yeah, man. Last week I remember telling you all I got my second dose. I got it Wednesday, and Thursday I was real lethargic. Real lethargic on Thursday. I did have some chills Wednesday night, some body aches when I got up Thursday morning, but I took Tylenol, so the body aches went away as soon as I took the Tylenol. But it was the I was lethargic pretty much most of Thursday until like late Thursday night. But then other than that, I've been good. Like I've been good. Haven't had any other symptoms arise.
Did Rosie have any?
Oh, she had it bad when she got it.
Oh,
but she got Moderna though.
Gotcha.
A lot of people say Moderna and Johnson & Johnson are the ones that get you the real like side effects.
Wow.
The real symptoms. I had Pfizer and they said it wasn't going to be as intense.
Right.
When Rosie got hers, she did it on a Friday. It was Saturday morning. She woke up and was like, yeah, I'm not getting out of bed. It was in bed literally all day.
Oh yeah, there was no going to church after that.
No, none of that. We didn't go by we didn't go by the parents.
Oh wow, y'all ain't even go over there. Wow.
I mean, she was in bed, and just like her mom, because they got it the same day. Yeah, it was like that.
Gotcha. Did mom and dad have any side effects with them?
They were also lethargic. But that was it.
Okay.
But that was because I think it's obviously the specific vaccine we both got. We got it at the same place, so and on the same day, so it was the same Pfizer vaccine. So
gotcha.
Man, you were telling us a couple weeks ago about going out to Salisbury.
Yeah, bro.
If you want it, A woman on Twitter posted a photo of what's the arena? Is it the Wacomico?
Yeah, Wacomico like convention center or something like that. Or a
Yes.
question. Yeah, you know.
So that's the mass vaccine site that's out there.
Right.
And she tweeted a photo of the vaccine site. It was like, yo, there's no one here.
That's what I'm saying, bruh. That's what I'm saying, yo. I think like when it comes to like this side of Maryland, I think everybody, even people from the Eastern Shore and Annapolis area, whatnot, they're all coming to like Six Flags, or they're either going to Six Flags, Waldorf, which is at that baseball stadium, or to Baltimore because they got the convention center and M&T Bank Stadium.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I think they're doing all that, not realizing that on their side they could just drive to Salisbury. Salisbury ain't nothing but 45 to an hour from Annapolis or even from Kent Island area, Queenstown, where the outlets are. So I've been telling folks like, yo, just take a drive out to Salisbury, yo. You can get it like with the quickness. You don't have to wait. Like you could literally get your schedule your appointment that day.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and go to Salisbury. Like, why not? Who wouldn't want to drive to Salisbury? The beach is right there. If you want to spend just make a day trip out of it. You know what I'm saying?
This is my only issue, and it's with the planning. And of course, you know, we don't know exactly who planned it, but the blame is going to go on our governor, Governor Hogan.
Of course.
Why is there so many vaccines at this specific location when you know the bulk of Maryland's population is in PG County, Montgomery County, Howard County, and even Anne Arundel, and obviously Baltimore.
Right.
And the woman who posted the tweet was saying how nurses were telling her that they have to throw away vaccines because they've been out of the refrigeration for a period now, and now they have to throw them away. And I'm like, well, hold on, there has to be a better way of like keeping these or moving these vaccines to another location. It has to be a better
right.
And we can't be waiting until the last day to be like, oh, well, now we can't use them. We got to throw them away. Like, so
but
like
see,
I said,
right.
Oh, go ahead.
But see, that's what I'm thinking. Like, because every time I've gone to Six Flags, so like yesterday and then 4 weeks ago, there was at least like, okay, so each of my times were 9 o'clock. And I got there like 8:30.
Yeah.
And there was at least, I want to say 1,000 to 5,000 cars there, anywhere in that range. But they were saying that they were doing, I think they were doing like 5 to 10,000. No, so when I was there was maybe about, I would say about 600 cars.
All
right. It could be a lot bigger than that, but they were saying they were doing like 10,000 shots a day at that location. And so I'm assuming that Waldorf and, you know, M&T, well, M&T not so much, and Convention Center not so much, because you have to get out of your car and go in there.
Yeah.
Having the cars, people don't have to get out. That moves a lot quicker.
Yes.
Than the regular. So they could get a lot more done that method than the internal get out your car, stand in line, go sit in a chair, you know, all that stuff at the stadiums and whatnot. So yeah, man. I think the Wacomico thing is good, but I think a lot of those people just don't want to take the vaccine out there.
That could be it out there. That could be.
You know what I'm saying? But you would think that there would be another location closer. You know what I'm saying? Than Wacomico. Especially for people closer on this side. You know what I'm saying?
And that's my only issue. That there has to be a better allocation of the vaccines. It should be, you got to be going out, because let's be real, the bulk of the population is not out there.
No.
I think a lot of it probably was they weren't putting out that information. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why now you're now putting out this story, which I heard myself like a month ago. But why now? You know what I'm saying? Why weren't you doing it prior?
Mhm.
Like, you got to realize a lot of those people, there's people that live out that way. But then again, a lot of people that way, if they're not old, they're young because they go to the universities out there.
Yeah.
You should have been able at that point in time to be like 16 and up here. Like, give it to whoever. Don't out there should have not been phases like here, where you just let whoever wants to take it come and take it. You know what I'm saying? Like our cousin Chrissy, who was on one of our episodes previously, she actually sent me a text today because she was at lunch. Well, she said she was at lunch by herself.
I like how you said that.
But she was also saying that there was two ladies that were sitting at another table and they were talking about Salisbury, the Salisbury site. You know what I'm saying? And so she sent me a text. She's like, I'm out here having lunch and these two ladies, I think she said they were white ladies, like work on Capitol Hill or whatever. And they were talking about the Salisbury site.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, see, I told you. Like, yo, she was like, well, I live in DC. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Drive out to Salisbury. You know what I'm saying? Salisbury, Ocean City's open. So go out to Salisbury, go to the boardwalk, have some lunch. You know what I'm saying? Walk on the beach a little bit, whatever. And then drive back to DC. Then you come back 4 weeks later.
And that's my thing. And maybe that's what the especially like DC's government, even Maryland, and I've been hearing people from Virginia are even going out there. I think maybe they need to be pushing a message. Hey, if you are capable of driving, you have the finances to get out there, just come out here, get it today, and we can make it do. I think the big issue is a lot of people of the low income families, they're gonna be like, I can't drive to Salisbury. Like, this is gonna cost me, a lot of money to do that. If you are financially able to do it, I think you should be able to.
It's a half a tank of gas.
Yeah.
It's literally a half a tank of gas from Prince George's County area, literally to Ocean City itself is like a half a tank of gas, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm sorry. It may not even half a tank, a quarter tank, depending on how crazy you drive. It's a quarter tank of gas. Yeah, because I remember we had to have a quarter tank of gas. We couldn't have more. We couldn't have more than a quarter tank of gas when we were putting cars in the car show out in Ocean City.
Oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah. So we would put our tanks up to about a little bit more than a quarter tank, and then drive out. You know what I'm saying? So when we got there, there wasn't a lot of gas in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So yeah, we knew, and we used to drive crazy driving out there. So yeah, like quarter tank. That's all it takes. So that means all you need is to have a half a tank of gas in your vehicle. You can make it out there and make it back, no problem. You know what I'm saying? You got no excuses at this point. You know what I'm saying? Maryland is letting everybody go get the vaccine. So if you want to get it, you don't got to wait. Just go online, set it up. You know what I'm saying? If you can't get Waldorf or Six Flags or Baltimore, stretch that map out. You know what I'm saying? To Wacomico area, Wacomico, Maryland. Just if you need to, put the Salisbury, Maryland zip code. You know what I'm saying? Go on Google, put it out there, and y'all can get it, man. Hey, if you really want to get it, get it.
Hey, man, that was a little discussion specifically about the DMV, but we're going to get right into our sports right now. We got a lot to get into. The NBA. The Brooklyn Nets seem to be in the news every week. We'll talk about them. Obviously, the Los Angeles Lakers being the Lakers, they're always in the news. We'll get to them. Also, more news with Deshaun Watson and Sam Darnold. We'll talk about that. We'll also recap the NCAA Final Fours in both the men and women's tournament, Major League Baseball's opening week, and our sports free zone. And we'll wrap up the show with an interview that I did earlier this week with my boy Chris Randolph. Chris, we went to it was at the time Columbia Union College, now Washington Adventist University. We did an interview with him. He is a professional basketball player that plays overseas. So we're going to talk about his basically how he started and what is life like for a professional basketball player not in the NBA. So we'll get in that. Just want to remind you all to subscribe to the podcast where podcasts are available. And that includes Anchor, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn. You can also watch us, as you probably are right now, on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Just make sure you subscribe to the podcast on any of those platforms. Leave a review and pass the word so this podcast could reach more people, get more listeners and viewers, and let's just keep it growing. Let's now get into the NBA. We had the Brooklyn Nets had a big game this week on Monday against the New York Knicks. Who would have thought that would have been a big game earlier this year?
The Knicks, that's crazy.
You had James Harden and Kyrie Irving. They started the game, but shortly into the game, James Harden went out with an injury. It's still the nagging hamstring injury. The Nets ultimately won. But this seems to be an issue with the Nets. They haven't had.
It's the hamstrings. What is up with that? Who are these trainers on their team, yo? You ever notice that? Like certain organizations, if they have like lots of injuries, they don't start bringing up what's up with the trainers. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I remember that was the issue with the Washington Wizards a few years ago.
Right.
Where
it's gotta be the trainers, man.
Everyone's getting hurt. What's going on? And they end up getting new trainers. And ultimately, it did help the team. Now, yes, some people are going to say, well, John Wall was out for 2 years, pretty much. Those were, unfortunately, accidents that happened not on the basketball court.
Right.
But
those weren't hamstrings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those were, what was it? ACL and...
He had it basically like his knee and then the Achilles.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Those things, I mean, especially since it didn't happen on the basketball court, you know what I'm saying? But those are like, compared to like the hamstring, those are like major injuries. You know what I'm saying? Like hamstring, a lot of time the hamstring happens because lack of stretching, you know, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Mobility issues, you know, stuff like that. But yeah. It's I don't know, man. I think it's the trainers and the Nets, man.
We got John Willis on the stream. John, let me know what you're referring to when you ask this question.
Right.
Sure. But
yeah, I read that. It was like, trust what? The vaccine, or are we talking about the Nets? Which one, John?
It could be both.
I think it might be the vaccine. But I don't know.
Oh man. But yeah, you have James Harden down with this injury. Kevin Durant, they're saying that he should be returning pretty soon. But this team has not played too many games with the bulk of the big three. So
right.
That is one thing that they need to try and do as much as possible before the postseason starts, because we saw this issue last year with the Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
They had their issues, and it ultimately ended up being, and the players and the coaches themselves said, we just didn't have a lot of cohesiveness going into the postseason. John was referring to the COVID vaccine. I trust it. I do know some people who were part of, there's some degrees of separation. People who were part of creating these vaccines, less than, a lot of people say the 6 degrees of separation. It was less than that for me. And then also just knowing how this virus is, man. I mean, for me, it's almost like it can't get any worse.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather.
And I've been taking vaccines all my life, so
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I mean, we've taken the flu shot all our lives. You know what I'm saying? We've taken certain vaccines all our lives. Yes, it does seem like it's been pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? That the vaccines are available. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Anything that you got to think about is a vaccine. You're not immune from a virus, just like with the flu vaccine. You're not immune from the flu, folks. You still get the flu. Just the symptoms might not be major towards you. You know what I'm saying? And you might not transmit it to other people. And that's what the key of this vaccine really is that you don't want to be the one to be spreading COVID. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that one, because eventually it's going to get back to you. Contact tracing is real. It will eventually get back to you. And you don't want to be that one that's been getting everybody sick, or the result, the cause of somebody dying. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. Like, a lot of people have been dying from this virus because people weren't acting right. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is. It's a precaution. That's literally what this vaccine is a precaution.
Also, real quick, just to add, yes, the vaccines themselves came pretty quickly, but the actual study of the COVID type viruses has been going on for years. It wasn't like they started from zero last March and then created this. That's why I felt a little more comfortable myself. It wasn't something that was just new. It was something that they've been working on.
Right. That's why the number is 19.
Yeah. But we took a little detour back to the vaccine. Let's get back to the NBA.
It's because of John.
Only because of him.
Right. It's understandable. It's understandable. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? People are watching online, so they're gonna ask questions from stuff that we've been talking about. That's all it is. That's fine.
We'll get back to the NBA. KD, though, fined by the NBA for his text messages to Michael Rappaport. First of all,
that was the DMs, bro. That was the DMs, wasn't it?
His DMs. Should the NBA have fined him for that?
I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he did kind of go a little overboard with the way he was talking. I don't think, you know what? I don't think their issue was the argument. It was the choice words that he used. You know what I'm saying? Like, he used some choice words, and you got to think about Adam Silver. You know what I'm saying? He's part of the LGBTQ.
Oh, he is? I had no idea.
Yeah. Adam Silver?
Yeah.
No idea. Yeah. Adam Silver is, yeah.
Okay.
But
that makes a lot more sense.
You know what I'm saying? But still, it is the times. It's 2021. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you gotta watch. You can definitely go back at somebody, but you gotta watch the words that you say. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he was like, yo, like, just give me your address, I'll meet you outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, look, you from the DMV. Us from the DMV understand what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? But come on, bro. Like, it's Michael Rappaport. Like, what were you scared of? Like, what were you? I mean, really, real talk. It literally all stemmed that the way he's been reacting back from Charles Barkley. That's what got him, because he just brought up Charles Barkley, and then he's like, "Oh, well, Charles didn't answer, blah blah blah." Well, you know what? Forget you. I'm gonna go at you now. Like, come on, KD, come on. It's Michael Rappaport.
The only reason if I'm the NBA, yes, I do have to at least do something, because the DMs became public. But that's the only reason. If we didn't know, or if Michael Rappaport just was saying, "Oh, KD came at me,"
right.
It'd be like, yeah, whatever. But the fact that we actually saw the messages, and it is a snitch move by Michael Rappaport, really.
No doubt.
Once it's out there, it's out there. So yeah, he got fined for that.
It was only what, 50,000?
Yeah, man, that's a lot.
No, it's not.
That's a lot, man.
For us, not for KD.
That's just a lot for some text message from D.
You're right.
Man, especially it didn't happen in like, for example, people remember Kobe Bryant when he used the homophobic slur, but that happened during the game to an NBA official. This is a celebrity that that had,
you're right.
Had this issue. So yeah, let's quickly get to the Washington Wizards, man. New and interesting ways to lose a basketball game. Up by 2 points, I believe, or 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point. 1 point.
1 point. And Gary Trent Jr. gets the inbound pass. He's guarded by Raul Neto. Raul Neto's trying to draw a foul.
I don't think he did kind of push him a little bit, but Neto did kind of.
Neto tried to
he tried to flop that big time.
Ended up flopping, left Gary Trent wide open. Top of the key, boom, goes in. Wizards lose the game. But more importantly, the Wizards were up by a lot of points. At one point, they were up by 18 points.
Yeah.
They were up by as much as, I think, 14 in the second half. They took, what's his name? Russell Westbrook out for his usual rotation time. And just like that, the lead went just like that. I feel like Scott Brooks took way too long to get him back into the game. And look, I understand there's minutes restrictions, all that. Look, we're trying to win games, man.
Right.
We're trying to make the playoffs at this point. You just got to get in there. And I feel like he just took way too long to put Westbrook back in. The lead disappeared. They, Wizards ultimately got the lead back right before the last possession. And yeah, man, ultimately Gary Trent Jr. hits that shot. New and interesting ways for the Washington Wizards to lose
definitely
basketball game. Let's now get to the Los Angeles Lakers, the favorite team of Matthew White's. Matthew White, we definitely miss you. You'll be back.
No doubt. Big Matt. Come on, bro. Need to see you, man.
Andre Drummond, he signed with them after he was bought out by the Cleveland Cavaliers. First game with the Lakers, ends up stubbing his toe. He's been out since, but they're saying he should be returning soon. The Lakers added Ben McLemore to the team. Do you think Ben McLemore is going to help the Los Angeles Lakers, BigThad?
I think he'll add to it, but I don't think it'll be a major help. You know what I'm saying? They do need some more shooters, so I guess that's why he's there.
Ben McLemore, to me, it's like the Dion Waiters edition last year, where everyone said, "Oh, Dion Waiters is gonna help this team," and then didn't really play.
Yeah,
and then they still won the title.
Yo, how is Jared Dudley still on the team?
He's a big locker room guy. Big locker room guy from even people I know who worked for the Wizards when he played with the Wizards years ago. They were like, "Yo, he's a stand-up guy." And he kept at that time John Wall, and was Beal in the league yet? I think Beal might have been a rookie, but kind of kept them in order, kept them on the straight and narrow. And then obviously Paul Pierce came, and we'll talk about Paul Pierce later, but Paul Pierce came, and that made them, a playoff team. And not only that, just a more mature team with Paul Pierce and Drew Gooden on those teams.
Right.
So yeah, but
that's why he should be an assistant coach or something. Why are you taking up a roster spot?
I mean, who you gonna get that spot to?
Quinn. Give it a Quinn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Quinn did ball out his first game with the Cavaliers, so I mean, hey.
John agrees with you, man. Oh, I hit the wrong one. John agrees with you. Join the coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not playing, if he's not playing, if he's not playing, he should just be on the coaching staff. Why not? That's an extra. You know what I'm saying? That's an extra teammate that you could have that can help the team. Jared Dudley is helping maybe emotionally, you know what I'm saying? But if he's not on the floor, he's not really helping the team.
I mean,
he's not helping the team win. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but you know how the NBA is, and you know how these leagues are. They always got to have a locker room guy. That's why Alex Smith will be in the league forever. You know, that's why Josh McCown will be in the league forever, and that's the NFL.
Right.
Is those guys? Vince Carter lasted a lot longer than
Vince was still giving you some games.
Vince can play. He can play, but think about the teams he was on, like Atlanta. Like he ain't really helping Atlanta on the court.
Right,
right. And that's the thing. He could have went to a team like the Warriors. He could have went to a team like at the time things are strained with the Raptors, but he could have went to the Lakers, all of that, and possibly won a ring. But hey, it is what it is. Talking about someone returning, Isaiah Thomas on a 10-day contract.
Yeah,
he's playing with the Pelicans. Look really good last night. He might be a very good addition. He even said after the game, this is the first game in years that he did not have to ice his hips.
Nice. How long has he been out the league?
Well, he played, remember, last year with the Wizards.
He ain't been out that long. You know what?
He got traded, and then that's when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And then he didn't really. What team did he get traded to? It was was it the Nuggets or the Clippers? I can't remember. But then with the pandemic, I think he got bought out and then just did it.
Right.
Yeah, but he played on the Team USA team that played in the FIBA tournament in November. That Grady Diaz.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Who we had last week on. He was one of the star players for that Team USA team.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave a lot of teams in the NBA some looks at him. And now with the injuries that they sustained in New Orleans, it seemed like a very good fit. And I think he should still help the team even when everyone returns. And talking about that, I need to look at my fantasy basketball team to see if I have Zion in the starting lineup or not, because I have my fantasy basketball team. Side notes, I'm in second place on my fantasy basketball league. This is a league with Big Matt, and Matt is several games behind me. So every week I just remind him that, hey, I'm ahead of you. So yeah, real quick.
Did you hear? Wait, actually, real quick. Did you hear the other news out of USA Basketball?
What?
Grant Hill will be taking over as head of USA Basketball.
Oh,
from Colangelo.
Colangelo? Okay.
Yeah. So Grant Hill will be. He'll be in charge of the first hiring of the new coach after Popovich.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. Real quick before you get out of this segment, who's your front runner for the MVP this season?
It's still Joker for me. You know what I'm saying? Joker, then Harden. Embiid third. Yeah, I'll just leave it at those three.
For me, it's Jokic also, partly because of attrition. Literally every star player that would have been in the running has been injured for some time. Joel Embiid just returned from injury not too long ago, still playing pretty well, but I'll have Jokic, I'll have Embiid, and then Harden. Harden, unfortunately, I know I don't like to. Harden, for me, it was the beginning with Houston. Like, we can't really forget that.
Right.
And not the fact that he wanted to leave. Like, I'm cool with player movement player empowerment. It was just the way it was done, not trying to play. He had the bomb debut game, and then after that, it was, I'm just gonna be on the floor.
Right.
To get out of here. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't really reward you with a MVP award, just because you then got your way and then got to the Brooklyn Nets. But either way, I think Jokic is just having a better year. Like,
right. Oh yeah. Definitely.
So, but that's why I have Embiid second. Let's now get to the NFL quickly. Sam Darnold was traded from the New York Jets to the Carolina Panthers for, I believe, a second-round draft pick. Am I correct, BigThad?
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. I think it was like second round and then something the following year. I think it might have been like third and fourth the next year, or it might have been 1 and 4 in the next year or something like that. Yeah.
Is Sam Darnold even better than Teddy Bridgewater?
I don't think so by any means, but for some reason, Teddy's getting like overlooked for some reason. I don't know what it is, man. I don't get it personally, but they even told Teddy that check and see what your options are out there. Like, they have no problem keeping him, but they were like, yo, if you feel there's a better situation for you, see what you can see, and we'll work with you.
Sam Darnold, to me, has done nothing in the NFL to make me think that he can be a franchise quarterback. Like,
he's played for the Jets.
It don't matter.
He's not Josh Rosen. You know what I'm saying? He's not Josh Rosen. Yeah.
He is Josh Rosen adjacent. And yeah, and it's funny, they both went to the schools in LA. But
right.
Yeah, if I'm a GM, I'm not trying to make him my franchise player. No, not at all.
No, I got you on that.
And look, the Jets got something. So the Jets win in all of this. They got something out of this.
Yeah, they definitely did.
So yeah, man. So kudos to them. Your Washington football team, BigThad.
Yeah.
They hired the first Latina in the NFL. She will be the chief of staff. Her name is Natalia Dorantes. She was hired as the team's coordinator of football operation. Working with the coaching staff and football operations, Dorantes will report directly to Rivera, the head coach, in a chief of staff role. So yeah, man, first Latina to be hired by an NFL team to be part of their management. So that is a big thing. Also, with your Washington football team, remember all that news about all those minority stake owners?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Who were trying to figure out a way. The reports were they were trying to figure out a way to get Daniel Snyder out. So they were trying to get they were trying to get a majority owner to take over his stake. Well, those minority stake owners relinquish their stakes in the team, and Daniel Snyder is now the super majority owner of the Washington football team.
So ridiculous, man. So ridiculous.
So we were all fooled on all of this.
Yeah. All because of the junkies, man. All because of the junkies.
I told you stop following the junkies, bro.
No. I'm just saying, like, it's all because of the junkies. Junkies got everybody lit in the DMV talking about this investigation that they still haven't come out with yet. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, had everybody lit thinking that NFL was gonna say, "Hey, Snyder, you're gone." You know what I'm saying? And it definitely took a 180 real quick.
It's kind of like the Dr. Dre album that we've been waiting on for like 15 years now.
Right. That album's been split up so many ways over the past 15 years. It's crazy.
I'm not counting Compton. That was kind of like a soundtrack.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many tracks that were supposed to be on that Chronic album has gone out to so many different artists over the past 15 years, and there have been all fire tracks. So hey, it is what it is.
what do you call it? My boy Greg. Man, I got some another childhood friend, Greg Beck. Man, what's going on, man? He was referring to the Sam Darnold conversation. Could be a Jared Goff transformation. We will see, man. I personally don't think Jared Goff is that good either, but we'll see if Sam Darnold just needed to get out of New York.
You don't like any of these quarterbacks, Joe.
Bruh.
You really don't.
High standard for
you hate Jimmy G.
Jimmy G's not good.
You hate what's his name? They used to play for the football team. Minnesota's quarterback.
Oh, Kirk Cousins. Oh,
yeah. You don't like him either.
Like,
you don't like him either.
Not to be the sole person in the NFL with a fully guaranteed contract. How the hell is he the one?
Right.
Not even Patrick Mahomes has one.
It's hilarious.
But he's the one. Like, come on, man. Let's now get to our quick hitter segment.
Okay.
The NCAA basketball tournaments. Let's start with the women.
Yo.
UConn fell to Arizona, but man, I wish I had my notes up ready. The young lady's name from Arizona. What's her name?
Arian McDonald. She was balling the whole tournament, yo. She was literally at like 30 something in the game. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the tournament. Like that Arizona team, definitely firecrackers. You know,
yep, you're right, Greg. Kirk secured a bag, Cousins.
He will secure another bag just because everyone think he could do it again. But yeah, back to
Arizona killed it, man. They took down Fraser. You know what I'm saying? Connecticut. It was a close game too. But Arizona went on to the final against Stanford and lost by 1. And they she almost made a 3 at the end, but it bounced off the back of the rim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they almost won it, but it was an all Pac-10 final, and Stanford won their first championship since 1992. That's wild.
Wow. Let's go to the men's side. Gonzaga falls to Baylor.
Ooh, man.
Gonzaga was undefeated going into this game. Baylor was the number 2 team most of the year. Gonzaga beat number 1. I thought Gonzaga was going to win. I thought it was their year. Baylor just came out hot.
Yeah, like so hot. So hot. Yo, I think what it was that UCLA game, like they were such on a high at the end of that game. They didn't know how to reset. You know what I'm saying? They had all that nervousness, and they're in the final. It's going to be a perfect season. They had all that nervousness in play, and Baylor just said, "Okay, we got this. Like we got nothing to lose." You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Baylor had nothing to lose in this game, and just came out on fire, bro.
Yeah, man. I would say this to all the people who are saying that Gonzaga are frauds right now because they lost in the national title game, being undefeated all year and then lost. I don't know how you can sit here and say they are frauds. Like, they played very good teams throughout the year. Right. They also played very good teams in the NCAA tournament and played pretty well. People who sit here and say, "Oh, I knew they were going to lose against Baylor coming into the game." No, you did not. There was no precedence this year that showed that somehow Gonzaga was going to fall to a team like Baylor. Like Baylor, yes, they were the number 2 team. Yes, I understand that they are very athletic, very good at defense, and one of the best 3-point shooting teams, but no one sat here and said, "Oh, yeah, they're gonna fall into a team like Baylor." If anything, it was more like they may be pressure for trying to go undefeated. So there was going to be a lot of pressure. And like my boy Greg said, Gonzaga had pressure. Of course, you want to go undefeated. No one has gone undefeated since 1987 with that Indiana team, I believe. There's only been, I think, 9 or 10 teams that have even gone undefeated in all of college basketball. So yeah, man, it's just ridiculous that people keep on saying that, oh, I knew that they were going to lose this game and that they're frauds. You can't say they're frauds just because they lost the last game of the year. And yes, Greg may be right. Skip Bayless probably did, but Skip Bayless is a major media member. I'm seeing this comment from a lot of people on social media like, oh, I knew. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You did not know that this was going to happen. So yeah, BigThad, what do you have to say about, the people who were sitting here saying that they knew all along that Gonzaga was frauds?
There's no way you could say they were frauds. Okay. The only thing you could say against them is that they didn't play Baylor. Now, they were supposed to play Baylor earlier in the season.
Yeah.
But because of COVID, it got cut off. So there's no way you could say, but nobody could beat them. All season long, nobody could beat them. They were down. There was plenty of games where they were down. Like, you could even hear the commentators talking like, yo, this is the most they've been down in the tournament and this season, but they have been down throughout the season and came back and won. You know what I'm saying? So they're not. This is literally the best Gonzaga team that we've ever seen, and they've been in the tournament constantly over the years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're not a big time school like North Carolina or Duke or something like that, but they've been consistently in there. You know what I'm saying? You can't really call Gonzaga a mid-major anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For years, they were like mid-majors, which, in the typical sense, they are a mid-major, but nah, you can't say nobody knew Gonzaga was going to lose like that. You know what I'm saying? If they were going to lose, there's no way you could say that they were going to lose that like that.
Got a question from Greg. How many first rounders coming out of Baylor and Gonzaga game? I believe Suggs, or is it what's his? I didn't watch college basketball.
You talking about Gonzaga?
Yeah,
Gonzaga, yeah, Suggs
for sure.
I want to say Kismet, maybe their 3-point shooter who didn't have a good game. I don't think their center Timmy is going to be a first rounder.
No.
Out of Baylor, I think there's like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
I think his name was Mitchell was one of them.
Yep.
That was on fire in that first half.
His stock is going up.
Yeah, big time. There's like 2 or 3 of them on Baylor, but that whole team, they're so athletic that I think there could be some first rounders out of them. If not this year, next year, stuff like that.
Yep. Let's now get to our champ and chump of the week. Every week we celebrate those that do well and we criticize those that do not. Starting with you, BigThad, who's your champ of the week?
Champ of the week is the Baylor men's basketball team. They came out, they came out on fire, bro. They came out playing the role of David. You know what I'm saying? Playing against Goliath. Now, don't get me wrong. They were 1-2 with Gonzaga all year long. I think preseason it was 1-2 with them. So it kind of sucks that they never played each other throughout the season, which they were supposed to. But they came out on fire, man. They came out on fire. I think even if Gonzaga didn't come out flat, the way they were playing, how physical they were playing, just how athletic they are compared to Gonzaga, it was going to be a very, very close game if both teams were playing at their optimum level. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Baylor. Just killed it.
My champ of the week goes to the women's Arizona Wild. I'm sorry. Jeez.
Yeah, you're right.
Humble. Arizona also. I gotta give them some credit, but Stanford, their women's team, and the Baylor men's team. I gotta give them champ of the week. Just to do this during COVID. To last this long, to be in your bubbles, the women in San Antonio, the men in Indianapolis, being away from family and friends, dealing with COVID, all the restrictions. Yeah, after the games, you got to stay in the hotels. So you can't even enjoy, life outside of basketball. Stanford women's team played on the road every game.
Yeah.
They did not play one home game all year. And, still ended up being the national champions. So credit to them, but also Arizona Wildcats women's team, because no one expected them.
Yeah, nobody had them there. Nobody.
And then not only did they get that far, they played well. None of it was flukish.
Right.
None of it was flukish. So yeah, shout out to them. Let's now get it to our sports free zone. When we take a break from sports.
Oh, we ain't doing the chumps?
Oh, Chump of the week.
Wow. I was like, I was all happy and ready to go for my chump of the week.
Chump of the week. It just so happened BigThad and I are in agreement.
Oh, yes.
Chump of the week.
Yes.
It is.
Tell him.
Paul Pierce.
Good old
Now, Paul Pierce, for those that do not know, Paul Pierce was on an Instagram Live this weekend. And he was doing his Instagram Live. Seems like a party in his residence. Had people there. It looks like they were playing poker. And Paul Pierce is getting a massage from a young woman in basically a bikini. There's another young woman who's just twerking on the floor.
Just twerking.
And no one's like, she's just twerking on the floor. There's guys playing poker. There's another guy you could just tell in the background, he's just bored. He's just sitting there on his phone as a young woman twerks right in front of him.
This is a regular occurrence, man.
Yeah. Paul Pierce is calling for who's the young woman? Who was the name of the woman? What was her name? Was it Nicole? Was it
something like that?
He's like, yo, so you gotta come over here, man. You gotta come over here. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, it wasn't even a girl that was there. It was a girl that he just, I guess she was looking at the live. It was like, yo, you need to come through.
Come get this money. Now, some of the poker players, they start throwing poker chips at the young lady who is twerking on the floor by herself. He's drinking, he's smoking, all on live. How many people do you think was on that live, BigThad?
Oh man, well, from the clip that I saw, I'm gonna say there had to be at least 15 there, just from the video.
Oh, no, not in the house. I'm talking about on the live.
Oh, on the live. Oh, you know
numbers?
What? No, I didn't see the numbers. I was too busy watching what was going on in the video. I was too busy watching. Look, I'll keep it real. I was too busy watching a girl twerking in the background.
I mean, look, it was.
I'm like, I can't believe this is happening right now on live. I'm like,
what it is. I just can't believe like this is happening. That and
it's Paul Pierce. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, Paul. Like, what's going on?
It was just amusing because it's like, yo, did he think that this was gonna be exciting? And by the way, to answer the question. It got a max of 300 people on the live.
Oh, that's kind of terrible.
for someone as big as Paul Pierce,
right?
This Paul Pierce, it only had about 300 people on the live. Not only that, they start throwing poker chips at the young lady,
like not even dollars, poker chips. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, guys?
And so then this is where things get really, really wild for me. The next day, Paul Pierce, he like tweets good morning, just like
nothing happened. Nothing happened,
the night before. So ESPN fired him. So he'll be no longer on their
they said they
mutually parted ways.
Mutually parted ways. I love when they say that stuff. I was like, yo. It's Disney, yo. It's Disney. You were out there acting a fool at your own house on live, like nobody could see it, bro. You're on Disney, like that just doesn't fly on Disney at all. You can't. You just can't do that, bro.
This is the thing. It's just, I don't think ESPN and Disney cares that he even does that. It's just the fact that it got out there. And
Right.
And then obviously, let's be real, they were objectifying women in the video. This is a new era.
Yeah.
This is a new era.
Yeah, you can't be on. You can't work for Disney and have strippers in the background. You know what I'm saying?
Now, a lot of people,
Derek, he definitely didn't care about his job at all. That he didn't care at all. He was collecting a check from Disney. You know what I'm
now,
saying?
do you think Paul Pierce is gonna ultimately end up getting another job in media?
Yeah, Bleacher Report.
Yeah, he'll get somebody.
I'm sure.
Or even TNT.
Yeah.
Or he might have to do the NBA TV route where they put him on over there.
Right. He ain't getting a regular show. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting a regular thing unless he does something himself, like a podcast or something like that.
Yeah. Fox may pick him up.
That's true.
Because we know Fox Sports and Fox TV is different from Fox News, just how they go about stuff. So
yeah.
Yep. All right, let's now get to the sports free zone.
Okay.
Actually, we didn't even get to
who. Oh man, I don't even want to talk about that dude.
About who?
Deshaun.
Jeez, we didn't even get to
yeah. I don't even want to talk about him. Maybe next week. Next week.
We could wrap up, I guess, more news. No, we'll talk about him. Let's just get to the sports free zone right now. Matt Gaetz. Do you know who Matt Gaetz is?
Isn't he
he's a politician.
He's a Florida politician.
Yeah. I think he's a congressman or a senator. I can't remember.
One or two.
Well, report came out that he has had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old and has traveled with the 17-year-old. And then more reports come out about him and his wild party nights.
Yep.
With drug-induced partying. So that came out. He's denied it. Unequivocally denied it.
Yeah, that she wasn't 17. Like, bruh, like, come on, man. Like, you knew she was 17.
Oh, man.
And now you're just denying it because now you realize that because you went over state lines, it's considered sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And you were paying, and you're giving her money or paying for this or paying for, bills or whatever. That's still all is sex trafficking.
Yeah, man.
Even though you're not giving her direct money for her services or anything like that, but yeah, you're taking care of her bills and whatnot and traveling. Yeah, that's all sex trafficking, but it's just what it is. That's what happened to R. Kelly to a degree. We'll leave that alone.
I remember one time when he got into an argument with another politician about something last year, and it became a very viral video. I was like, this dude, this Matt Gaetz dude seems a little shady.
He's a little wild. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't pin it down. But this may be the issue.
He was the one. Wasn't he the one with the gas mask?
Yes.
I thought that was him. Yeah. Acting the fool. Come on,
man.
But he also supposedly when everything went off or whatever, he was talking about quitting as a senator or whatever and joining it was either Fox or some other,
probably like One America
private, One America or something like that. Yeah, that's
right. Parts.
Yeah, some crap like that. Yeah,
OAN.
these dudes, man.
So this topic, it's sports related, but not at the same time. Many of you already know about the voting laws that were instated in Georgia a couple weeks ago. Georgia made it really difficult when it comes to voting rights. Some of the highlights are, requiring multiple IDs to be able to vote, providing several documents just to vote. I think in some of them there might be even like tests to take. Like they could take it to that level. There was also laws when it comes to drop boxes for mailing ballots and absentee ballots, where they're putting it down to like one ballot in one box in the entire county, or even like when you think about Fulton County, which Atlanta is in, they're trying to do stuff like that, limiting the amount of ballot boxes. The one other big thing was it's a felony now to serve food or water to voters who are in long lines.
It's one of the dumbest things I ever heard in my life.
And proponents of that were like, well, we just want to make sure that, it's not, political groups that are serving the food and the water. So we just said nobody. I'm like, okay, this is bogus. Right. Y'all know what it is. All this is to combat what happened in Georgia earlier this year and last year in the presidential election, where Georgia turned blue. So this is just a way to get, minorities flustered and not out to the polls, almost like intimidation back in the day. But I look, I think this is, even though it's more stringent, I do believe it will not deter many people, because now we're really seeing, okay, the stuff that they're doing to stop these voters. I feel like these voters are gonna be like, nah, you're not gonna intimidate me. I'm gonna vote. Now, because of this, several businesses are starting to pull out of Georgia. One of those businesses is Coca-Cola, where they are trying to get out of Georgia. Coca-Cola is based in Atlanta. Delta is based in Georgia also. There are some other companies that I think Amazon was putting a huge plant that was going to be out there, manufacturing plant.
Yeah, Amazon was doing something like that. I believe Microsoft was doing a new tech center there.
And they're all backing out. Also, Major League Baseball, and this is where the sports comes in. Major League Baseball removed the All-Star game, which was happening in Atlanta or outside of Atlanta because they moved. What was happening there? They took it out, and they'll announce later where it may be. Rumor is it's going to be possibly in Milwaukee. Because
Colorado.
Oh, they already made that announcement?
Yeah, last I heard it was Colorado, yeah.
Okay, well, Home Run Derby is going to be fun in Colorado.
Oh yeah.
The rumor was it was going to be possibly in Milwaukee, so then they can still honor Hank Aaron, because that's where his career started. So that was the rumor. Also, baseball, I want to say one of their Bud Selig is out there. Bud Selig is a former commissioner, and I believe there's a big office that's out there in Milwaukee also for Major League Baseball. So
yeah.
And yeah, my boy Pat, we got people coming through on the stream. He said Colorado also. Thanks, Pat. So the Atlanta Braves put out a statement, and they're like, it's just liberal media pushing an agenda, and it's only, it's only the regular working man and woman that's going to be affected by this, because the All-Star game is not going to be there. I'm glad Major League Baseball took a stand. We've seen this precedence before. The NCAA took all championship games out of South Carolina because of their flag.
Right.
We also saw back in the 90s when Arizona was refusing to make MLK Day an official holiday, that the NFL took the Super Bowl, which would have been in Tempe, Arizona, and actually gave it to Atlanta, which was Super Bowl 28, which was the Super Bowl that the Dallas Cowboys won.
Oh, we don't care. That didn't happen.
Perfect.
So I just want to add that the Dallas Cowboys
that didn't happen.
Won that Super Bowl. That was Super Bowl 28. I remember vividly that Super Bowl because at halftime, the Cowboys were losing 13-3, and I was crying tears because I thought they were ultimately up on camera. I thought that they were going to lose that game, and ultimately they took over in the second half. Pat is a huge Cowboys fan too, so you got another Cowboys fan on the stream.
That's terrible.
But so we've seen precedents with this. It's going to be in Colorado. Also, the governor of Georgia spoke about it and was pretty upset and said it's a liberal media, liberal. They're trying to push these agendas and da 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 da. So yeah, man, that is what's happening right now with the voting laws in Georgia, and obviously All-Star game in Major League Baseball. Also, have you been following the Derek Chauvin trial, Thad?
Actually, no, I haven't. I know I should be, but no, I haven't.
I watched the opening arguments, which was last week. Actually, it was pretty concise but precise also, because I've heard opening arguments where they be talking for 2-3 hours. This one was about like 40. I don't even think it was 40 minutes. It was like 30 minutes. So far, the prosecution looks like they have a very good case. You've had plenty of experts come out and say what Derek Chauvin did to George Floyd was not correct. You had the police chief speak out against it. The person who heads the training of the officers speak out against it. We've had EMTs, firefighters. We had witnesses on the scene. Numerous surveillance video of the exact same thing. I mean, of the crime. And so far, the defense has just come out and said, yo, Derek Chauvin thought he felt like he was threatened. So yeah, man. But we've seen this before. So I'm not trying to, get my hopes up.
No, you can't. I'm
not trying to, because I've seen stuff turn left in these type of cases.
Look, I just don't want folks to go wild and crazy if he's found not guilty.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
I know.
It's gonna happen.
See, the thing is also, like, defense attorneys, their job, regardless of however the facts are, the evidence shows, whatever, their job is to get that person off.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll say whatever they have to do to convince the jury. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you got to think about it. It's like of course I haven't seen the trial or anything, or seen what the jury makeup might be or anything like that. But you got to realize it's like, it's our peers. Like, regardless, it's our peers who are in control of what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you gotta take the facts for what they are and test me as it is. And hey, you never know. It sucks that there's a good possibility that he might get off. It's just what it is. But hey, we want a due process, and that's what happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I just want everybody, please try not to burn down cities. You know what I'm saying? I know, but just let's try not to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's do some more work. Let's just do some more work out in these streets and hopefully change things. But yeah, I know it's gonna be tough.
I hear what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's.
I'm be honest with you, I don't either. You know what I'm saying? But I try to be that other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to look at a positive out of things. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen either. You know what I'm saying?
Did you watch the Verzuz this past week? Again,
bruh, I didn't watch all of it, but I did catch some of it, and I was dying. Looking at the comments. You know what I'm saying? The comments were killing me. I did catch a couple of the songs. I did catch Steve Harvey talking after every song about this was I remember this when I was in high school and this girl and blah, blah, blah. And then my wife told me not to talk so much. But here I am. And yeah. And then Ron Isley and watching all these women in the comments. It's like, it was crazy just seeing the comments, man. I was dying laughing, man.
First of all, I did not even notice that was Ron Isley. The whole time I'm looking, I'm like, where's Ron?
Right.
How do you not have Ron there? And then I realized, hold on, Ron is the dude with the silver beard.
Yeah,
like, yo, he looks so different. Someone saying he's aging backwards, that he actually looks younger with the silver beard than without a beard.
Yo, they said, look, I was watching some joint, a couple comments, and it was like, yo, one lady was like, yeah, I'm throwing my panties at the TV right now. And then one lady was like, yo, Ron Isley could take the panties off of a nun. And I was like, whoa.
So then I'm also talking to my mom, and I'm like, hey, you know, I know obviously, you know, I've heard, I know plenty of Earth, Wind and Fire songs,
right.
ending with the Isley Brothers. But then I asked her, like, yo, how was it, you know, back then when they were out? And she was just like, yo, they were, you know, huge, and like the women were flocking for them. And then I saw a tweet where someone said, yeah, y'all talking about the Isley Brothers, but let's not forget about Teddy Pendergrass. And so I asked my mom about Teddy Pendergrass. My mom said, look, women were going crazy.
Right.
And then I see a video where Teddy Pendergrass would just be kissing women at his concerts. Like, and he had one where he kissed this one woman and then told her significant other, look, you better hold on to her because she's a good one. Like, can you imagine that 2021? Can you imagine who's can you imagine Bruno Mars
or Chris Brown
or The Weeknd,
right,
or Drake kissing a random woman and then telling the significant other, like, you better keep her
because she's a good one.
Yo, the Me Too era would oh my goodness, they will oh my goodness. But yeah, man, so like I tell my parents, y'all can't tell us anything about how we're wilding in 2021 because the stuff I'm hearing about y'all is ridiculous.
Yeah. Teddy P, turn off the lights. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Oh man, let's now get into our interview with my boy Chris Randolph. I did this earlier this week. If I could bring it up. I mean, I have it. I just
I feel you. I mean, look, today is a technical extravaganza right now.
It has been because but we're getting through it. We're gonna push through it. Just check out this interview with my boy Chris Randolph. We are here with one of my good friends. Haven't seen him in years, but I'm so happy that we're able to talk. Man, we're here with Chris Randolph. Chris, what's going on with you?
What's up, bro? I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing well, man. Chris went to the same university that I went to, so college. Start out with while we were there, the name was Columbia Union College, and then changed to Washington Adventist University. But Chris played on the basketball team. But before we get into that, Chris, man, let the listeners and viewers know, where are you from? Where did you grow up? Where did you go to high school?
Okay. I am from a small town in Virginia called Goochland. So I am from Goochland, Virginia. That is where I grew up. And I went to Goochland High School. So it's one of them small counties that is like the only high school in the county. So, you know what I'm saying? Unless you move somewhere else, you know what I mean? That's where everybody go to high school at. So that's where I went to high school. Like I said, just, you know, raised there. It was like I was born in Georgia. We moved to Virginia when I was like 7 or 8 or something like that. And pretty much been there since then.
That's what's up. Now, when's the first time you remembered where you're like, you know what, I'm trying to play basketball as a career?
As a career, like when it was the first time I thought about it, when it was the first time I actually knew it was a possibility.
When's the first time you thought about it? Where you're like, this is what I want to do.
Probably like 9, 10. Because I was playing everything, man. So when I was young, man, I played soccer, basketball, baseball, football. I played everything like recreation wise. And my mom was just like, yo, like, I'm tired of like coming to pick you up all year long. Like, you got to pick one. She was like, yo, like, I can't, like, cause you know what I'm saying? My dad worked, you know what I'm saying? He got off late. So he wasn't going to be able, sometimes he could be able to come pick me up. But like the person who was going to have to take me was my mom. So she was like, yo, like, I just can't do it all year long. Like, pick one. And I was like, all right, well, like football, I'm like, man, I'm not that good at football. Soccer, I was really good at, but I was like, it's just too much running. You know what I'm saying? And baseball back then, like a lot of blacks weren't playing. So I was like, yo, like I was just kind of uncomfortable. I was really good at baseball. I wish I'd stuck with it actually, but you know what I mean? I just kind of was uncomfortable. So I was just like, yo, basketball, Michael Jordan was popular at the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, it's cool. I can always shoot. So I was like, yo, like, I'm gonna stick with basketball. So, that's what I had the most fun doing. And then it just clicked, man. At one point, it was just like, yo, like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, so I can't do it anymore.
What was the first college you went to? Because I believe you went somewhere before you came to WAU, correct?
Yeah. I went JUCO, man. I went JUCO and I went to Catonsville in Maryland.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm familiar with Gainesville.
Yeah. So I played in the Maryland JUCO, which is it. They get it in the Maryland JUCO, man.
Yes, they do. Gainesville, I know Allegheny is good. Howard County is pretty good. I had a friend that played on Howard County and on PG. Yeah, man.
Cecil, everybody.
Yes. I forgot Cecil. Yeah, they were pretty tough,
bro.
And then
it's actually funny how I got there, bro. Like I didn't even know. Like I had heard of junior colleges, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like I was supposed to go to prep school for a post-grad year. And like the last minute, like I was gonna go, and the guy was like, "Look, man, like we're gonna give you a partial scholarship, but you probably not gonna play that much because they were ranked and all that stuff." You know what I'm saying? But he was like, "Yo, like I know you want to get better looks, so like this can be good for you." You know what I mean? But I was like, "Yo, man, I ain't really trying to go nowhere and not play." Guy, he's telling you. I mean, I was like, "Yo, I can come and work hard," but like a lot of these guys was ranked. I think the guy who was in front of me was like Texas State Player of the Year or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I had played in an all-star game after I had graduated, like this little small all-star game somebody invited me to. And like the guy was like, "Oh, where you going to school?" And I was like, "Man, I don't, I'm still trying to figure it out. Got a couple D3s, whatever." And he was like, "Yo, like I got a lot of connect with JUCOs. Like, come to this workout next week." Like, all right, cool. And I came, you know what I'm saying, played good. And the next thing I know, was like 10 JUCOs that was offering me, man. And this other opposing coach that was in my conference, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he was putting all his guys in school, and me and him got cool. And he was like, "Look, man, like I'm gonna stay in contact with you. I'm pushing your stuff. Like a couple coaches called me about you." And then like once he was like, "I think Catonsville would be good for you." I'm like, man, I don't want to go to Maryland. Like he's like, "Yo, like I'm going to take you myself down there. Like I've got the recruiting business, set up." I went out there, man, and it just was. I loved it. Like they got the Astrodome where it looked like they got a D1 campus. I just say that they got a D1 campus. So you don't feel like you at a JUCO when you're there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we had one of the biggest gyms in the conference. So that was cool. The basketball team runs everything on the campus. Like, then my mom came for my second visit and she loved it. So I was like, oh yeah. Like, and the coach, you know what I'm saying? My coach was, you know what I'm saying? He was black. Like it was, you know what I mean? It was just love, man. So I was like, yo, this is cool. That conference, man. There's some guys in that conference, man. Like you say, even PG is good every year.
So then you made your way to Columbia Union College. How did you end up there?
You probably, I don't know if you remember the assistant there, Shell. He was a real light-skinned dude, kind of short. He was the recruiting coach.
Okay, all right.
And he wasn't there a lot like that because he was always on the road recruiting. He actually coached against me in AAU and high school. So, and I in one of his teams he coached, I lit up like 6 for 8 from 3, like 24, 26 points or something like that. Like just gave him hell. So every time I would see him, you know what I'm saying, we would always joke, and he would be like, you know what I mean, just laugh, joke, talk a little trash. And so, you know what I'm saying, I bumped into him somewhere when I was in Maryland. He was like, yo, like, Randolph. I'm like, yeah, coach, what's up, man? He's like, oh, what you doing? I'm like, man, just, I'm about to be finished JUCO. And he was like, what you about to do? And I was like, man, I got a couple schools that I'm, looking at, gonna make a decision soon. And he was like, yo, I'm at this school, you know what I mean, in in Tacoma Park, you know what I'm saying, CUC. And I'm like, yo, they Division II. And I'm like, oh, and I was looking to go to D2. So I was like, oh, yeah, like, he was like, man, come on by, you know what I mean? So I came through and checked it out. And I mean, it was cool, man. I loved it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yo, he's like, yo, it's a perfect place for you. Like, we kind of in a rebuilding mode right now, you know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't that far. I still wanted to stay in Maryland, you know what I mean? Pretty much, I really didn't want to go anywhere else because at that point, I had already did 2 years, you know what I'm saying, in JUCO in Maryland. So I was used to being in that area. So it just, I loved it, man. I loved it. Like the whole, it was a Christian school, you know what I'm saying? Like it felt like you were at an HBCU, but you wasn't, but it felt like it. You know, so I like that part of it. And it was cool vibes. I just really I liked it, man. I got close with Sticks and Dre on my visit. You know,
yeah, man, that's my boys.
And, yeah, it was pretty much just from there, man. Yeah,
man. And that's how we met.
Those are my vets, man.
That's how we met.
When
you transferred there, I was just like, or when you enrolled there. We met and we became real cool, just chopping it up in the hallway or in the calf. And then obviously I used to just be at the game, so we chop it up there, and that's how we became real cool. You then went to one other school, correct? After WAU?
Yeah, I transferred to Southern Virginia University, which is in Buena Vista, Virginia, that close to home. They were at the time they were in NAIA D2, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now I think they D3. Now they moved to another conference. Yeah, I transferred there, man, and played a year. Pretty much that was my time to pretty much like get everything together, you know what I'm saying, and like really, really try to focus in on like, all right, let me see if I can make this thing a reality, you know what I'm saying? So at that point, I was getting my portfolio, trying to get my portfolio together, my film, and I was chasing film and all of that stuff then.
Now, this will go back. I guess we can adjust the question now. When was it that you realized that professional basketball was a possibility for you?
CUC, no question.
Okay, and why is that?
I mean, I realized it in JUCO just a little bit because you know what I'm saying. Like my coach had played. One of my assistant coaches played at Wright State. And so he was like 24. He had just came back like 24, 25. So he knew everybody in Baltimore. So he was bringing during the summer. I mean, he was bringing Malcolm Delaney, Dante Green, you know what I'm saying, Dante Draper. Like he was bringing guys. I mean, all these guys is pros. I mean, you know what I'm saying, like, so it, you know what I mean. For me, it was different because it was like, oh man, like back then they weren't, you know what I mean. But like these guys were all Americans. Like obviously Dante Green was Don All American. You know what I'm saying. Like all these guys. I was signed big Division I All-American. So getting a chance to play against them during the summer, it was like, oh, okay, all right, like we don't look bad, as bad as we thought we was gonna look, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of was the beginning for me. And then when I got to CUC, you know what I mean? Because I was like, oh man, I don't know how I'm looking against these dudes, like, and then it was like, oh, okay, all right, like, and then once I got to CUC, it was, working out with Elvis, you know what I'm saying, and working out, you know what I mean, like getting a chance to work out with Dre, you know what I mean, once or twice, and then just being around different pros. Shaheem, and you remember Dana.
Yeah, the shooter. Yeah, he played played on one of the Team USA teams for one of the international tournaments.
Yeah, he played. So he was actually, man, me and Dana were a lot closer than people even knew about because which I don't even know. I think he probably my work ethic, you know what I'm saying? Because like every time he was in the gym, like I was in the gym, you know what I'm saying? And so he was just like, he kind of was giving me a play-by-play when he was going through it. So he was like, yo, yeah, I just got this agent. Then it would be like, yeah, I got this tryout next week. You know what I'm saying? And it would be like, yeah, like get your film. He was like, get your film, get your resume. Like he was literally coaching me as he was going through it. So then that's when it was like, okay, all right, like I got the tools on what to do. You know what I'm saying? And then I was working out with him, you know what I mean? Which I'm a shooter. So we both, we shooters, we had a shooting contest, whatever, you know what I mean? And it was just like, yo, like, I can make this happen. I don't know what level, but I can make this happen.
For sure. Now let's get to your first professional contract. Where was it that you had to play? And what was the first thing after you signed that contract? What was your first thought? Like, was it, oh my goodness, I finally got here? Was it, just like, oh, I expect to get here? How did you feel when you signed on the dotted line for your first professional team?
My first deal was Mexico, which, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think Mexico, you like, oh, unless I'm going to Cancun, I ain't trying to really be there. So it was like, it was a, you know what I mean? Because people think, so it was a relief, but it was honestly one of those things that when I first got into this, I had a couple like offers, and then they would end up either picking somebody else or just something would happen. So I thought I was going to Russia for my first deal. So I announced it on Facebook. And so, 100 people, oh man, congrats, bro. Glad you finally got, you been working out. What's up, bro? People tagging, oh, my boy, Chris, da, 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 da. And like, I didn't have a passport then, which looking back on it, like, it was my own fault. I was still trying to get one, but I was like, yeah, I get one whenever. My agent hit me and was like, yo, I got a tryout for you in Mexico. The team doesn't, they don't really know you like that, but like, they're going to give you a tryout. All right, cool. And then he was like, yo, like, send me your passport info. And I was like, I don't have a passport. What? Like, man, you gotta get that. So I start calling passport agency in DC. I'm like, yo, I need a passport. I'm supposed to leave the country. And they're like, okay, you can come up here and bring your info. And they back then, I mean, I don't know what it is now with COVID. You could like bring all your stuff and show like your proof of travel, and then you can get your passport the same day.
Yeah.
So I did that. I drove to DC. You know what I'm saying? And parked my car, like found the passport agency, like gave them all my stuff. They was like, all right, come back at like 2:00. We'll have it. Came back at 2:00, paid for it. Like went back home with my passport. He hit me like 2 days later. Like they had a party for me at work, leaving party, everything. And like he hit me back 2 days later and was like, yo, they went with somebody else. Like, and that almost made me stop playing because I was just like crushed, man. And my boy, I never forget, my boy, I was telling you about that, I'll play with Rafiq. He was like, bro, like, don't ever announce you leaving until you got a ticket. And I was like, he's like, yo, like, I know it's exciting. I know he's like, don't announce you leaving until you know you leaving when you got that plane ticket. All right, cool. So I didn't tell him. Yeah, he was like, because I mean, like, you're just setting yourself up because that's what they do. It's a business. So once I found out I was going to Mexico and I signed on that dotted line, when I got that flight, I was like, yo, like I was excited and relieved, man. I just was like, like, not work is done, but finally.
Where in Mexico did you play?
I was in Chihuahua.
Okay. I mean, I've heard of it. I just don't know.
Like that's like they DC. Like Chihuahua is nice. Like they got universities, they got Buffalo Wild. We were sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings, so we would eat Buffalo Wild Wings free. They got Applebee's, like they got. I mean, it looks like a normal big city. Like the part I was in, they got the slums, but the part I was in was nice, man.
How was it? Obviously, I mean, we as Americans, we know Mexico for soccer when it comes to sports and even baseball, but basketball. When you got there as an American, what was your I guess expectation going in, and then what did you find out about the basketball fans of Mexico?
Honestly, I was kind of iffy just because I was just like, yo, it's Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I don't know anything about Mexico as far as basketball, especially back then. I didn't, you know what I mean? So I was kind of skeptical on it. But the agent that had hooked me up was like, yo, this is going to be good for you. It's a good league. Like, so it's going to be like kind of like a showcase at first, but it's going to be a good league. I didn't know how much, like, I didn't imagine them liking basketball as much as they did. So when I got there, I was playing with a couple other Americans at first. And man, like literally from the time we got to the hotel, like people were like taking pictures from a distance. Like people were like watching us eat from outside the door. Like, I mean, we had escorts. This is my first time, you know what I'm saying? This is my first time experiencing any of this. So people coming up, like he'd already told us, like, look, guys, you know what I mean? They picked us up at the airport, like, look, guys, fans are gonna want pictures, they're gonna want autographs, like just letting y'all know. Like, and we were looking like, okay, bro, whatever. Like, he's like, I'm just like letting y'all know, like, you know, what's what you about to come into. We just kind of looking like, all right. And like people coming up like, can I have a photo? Like in Spanish, you know what I'm saying? And stuff. I'm like, wait, me? Like, really? I was like, yeah, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, come on. You know what I mean? And then I remember we went to the gym for the media day the next day. Bro, like the whole gym was full of like cameras and people, man. Like everybody all the fans had their paper and pen. Like, I mean, we were getting mobbed, man. It was crazy.
Now, after that, what was the next play? What were some of the other plays that you played professionally?
So after that, I came home for like 2 months, and then I went to Germany. And I played in Germany. Played on 2 different teams in Germany. After I left Germany, I played in Peru 2 years. And after I left Peru, went to Spain for a little bit, a few tournaments. And then after I left there, I played in China for 2 years. And then after I left there, played in, let me see, God, I'm so old now, man. Did a little bit in Colombia for a little bit, and of course now in Korea. I mean now of course in Vietnam.
Okay, so you're in Vietnam right now. Actually, I know you haven't done anything because you're, like you said, you're quarantined right now. But from what you've seen, you know, from the airport and you know the hotel windows, how is Vietnam? You're in Ho Chi Minh, right?
Yeah, I'm in Ho Chi Minh. My hotel is right outside of Ho Chi Minh. So I'm about an hour and 30 minutes quarantining in a hotel. I'll be done this Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm counting down days. But from what I've seen from the airport to getting here, it's a big city. I mean, where I'm gonna be at, it's big. I mean, it's pretty much this is New York. You know, Ho Chi Minh is the big city. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to it, man. They got it's real Americanized. Like they have a lot of good places to eat. They got beaches everywhere. Like it's a beach. Like I mean, everywhere. Rooftop pools. It's supposed to be. It's gonna be good times, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now, to the young men and women that are interested in making basketball a profession, what are some of the things that they need to be looking out for, when it comes to professional basketball? Is it, are they specific leagues they need to be looking at? Are there agents that they need to be getting? What are some of the things that they need to do to avoid some of the pitfalls of professional sports?
The biggest thing, man, is the first thing is having your film and having your Word document resume or PDF, whichever one you prefer, or both, whatever. Having those things, because that is what you send out. That is the only thing they care about is send me your CV. So if someone says send me your CV or send me your resume, that is what they want. They want to see, you know what I mean, all your stuff in a Word document, just like you would a regular resume, and they want to see film. So I tell players all the time, I'm like, look, when you in school, focus on getting that film. Especially now, like, man, you can get your cousin to record on their iPhone at your game. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't even got to chase. Back when I played our time, when you had to chase the coach and get a VHS. You got to ask him, can you get a copy of the VHS or DVD? Like,
come on, man. Video assistant to do it for you, so you waiting on their time. Yeah, you're right, man.
Come on, man. I had to send to get my JUCO tape. I had to send a girl I knew from Kingsville. I sent her some money so she could buy DVDs to give to my assistant coach to be able to copy games. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. At this point now, your coach can just be like, "Oh yeah, I got the games." Like a click of a button to email them to you within like 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'd say getting your film and your resume together. Second thing is network. That has worked for me. I've got my last 3 jobs off Instagram. Like, wow. Just somebody somebody I knew or know, like, you know what I mean, not even that well like that, and just boom, boom, boom. Hey, oh, they posting a job or something. Oh, hey, yo, you know, what's up? Okay, hey, send me your stuff. Okay, cool, boom. Oh yeah, they said they want you. You know, so for me, networking worked for me. That separated me because I was up all night when people were sleeping. I was messaging coaches, I was messaging GMs, I was messaging whoever. You know, I was messaging players that played on some of these places in some of these countries. You know, just trying to just talk to people and figure out, man, because I didn't know a lot about it. You know what I'm saying? And back then, it wasn't that many teams. So now you got a lot more teams because now everybody wants to have a team in a country. So it's a lot easier to play. But back then, you know what I mean? It wasn't that many teams, you know. So networking, man, networking and know your game. So whatever game you play, push that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't push something you're not. So if you know you're a defensive player, you're a defensive stopper, push being that. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna need it. You know, because whatever you pushing, that's what the team expects you to do when you get there. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to push that you're a hell of a scorer if you're not, because they're gonna find out when you get there you're not, and you may be back on the plane in another couple of days.
Now, a lot of young basketball players, you know, obviously the NBA is where everyone ultimately wants to be. What do you have to say to the many basketball players, men and women? Because let's be real, it's literally, I think the stat now is maybe 1 in 5 million make it to the NBA right now. What do you have to say to the young athlete that wants to make it to the pros? What do you have to tell them about, hey, the alternate options? You know, what do you have to say about that?
I mean, of course, I wanted to play in the NBA. You know, that was my dream growing up. You know what I'm saying? People like still would ask me like over the years, like, "Oh, you ain't never tried to play in the NBA?" And I'm like, it's not a, you know, it's obviously not understanding how good, you know, the levels of like being of what good is. And I'm like, you know, of course I want to play the NBA. You know what I mean? But I would say to them, I mean, try to do everything you can to get there. There is a easier process in getting there now than it was, you know what I mean, then years ago. Obviously with social media, you know, your life can change one night with a dunk or, you know what I mean, just like getting 50 or something and posting it, whatever. I would say push that, but also for me, it became a day when it was like, okay, Chris, you're never probably going to play in the NBA, but you can play professionally. So, you know what I'm saying, like reach the goal that you know is attainable for you. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, you know what I'm saying, try to reach as high as you can. And then if you can't touch that, you know, go to the next level, wherever that is, whether that's ABA, overseas, you know what I mean, whatever it is. Like, you know, it's nothing wrong with wanting to play in the NBA because, like I said, I know a lot of guys who people thought they weren't going to play and they ended up playing in the NBA, whether it was a year, 2 years, 3 years. No one can take that from you that you played in the NBA, whatever it was, or either if it was summer league or, you know what I mean, a tryout. Like, so I would say push that as much as you can, and if you can't reach that, you know what I mean, there's plenty of places to play.
Now, you don't have to be specific here, but is the money well overseas?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. It's very well. And for me in particular, like now that I'm more of a player coach, now I know you see I do a lot of more coaching now. The money has increased for me because now, you know what I mean, like they pay a lot more money because I played in like mid to low level overseas leagues. So the money I made the same money I did if I worked in America. You know what I mean? Like, so people can add that up however they need to add that up. I mean, you know what I mean? Everything was paid for and they paid me to give me a check. So, you know, that for me. But like guys that play in the EuroLeague and stuff, I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars a season, depending on, you know what I mean, what level you are. Some guy I know guys personally, you know what I mean, 8,000 to 10,000 a month, whatever, you know what I mean, just depending on your level. Like I said, for me now, I'm at the point with the coaching thing and playing that I make a lot more. I'm making the most I've made in my career the last 3 years. Like I said, because just like people pay a lot of money for these camps and stuff. So now it's just like I said, it's a player coach. So it's like, okay, we'll pay you to do this and this.
Okay.
You know, so it's good, man. It's one thing I tell people: save your money, man, because it comes quick. It's tax free. It comes quick, and you know, it's a lot of things to do overseas and places to travel that's very cheap. So it can get you can get caught up in traveling and just spending a lot of money, just having a good time. So try to definitely put some money away because there's no 401k. So try to definitely put some away or send some home a lot. Yeah.
That's what's up. Now let's get to your personal game. If you had to compare yourself to a current or former NBA player, how does your game? Who does your game relate to?
Let me see. I'm gonna go with. You want to go with who I model my game after, or who have people told me?
How about both of them?
I give you both. All right. Early on, in high school, I was a big KG fan. I was a big KG fan, and people called me KG because you know what I mean. Like obviously, like the looks and stuff was similar, and I was always turned up how he was. You know what I mean. The game was similar. Yeah. So people was like, "Yo, like KG, you know what I mean?" And so I kind of went with that. As I started to get older and just being a shooter, a lot of people, Ray Allen, Rip Hamilton, a lot of Rip Hamilton, just being able to move and shoot the ball, and just always being ready, pretty much catch and shoot. So I think a little bit. I think I've always tried to watch Rip. I watched Ray. I watch. Who else have I watched? It's just like just shooters, man. Anybody that's a shooter. I watched a lot of guys moving out the ball. Let me see who else. Guys in high school, my nickname was Reddick. Was JJ Reddick for a while. I was pulling threes back then, man. I was pulling deep, like so. My boys used to call me Reddick because I was pulling them things. If I had daylight, man, I still do it now, but you know what I mean. Back then, like I ain't have in high school, I had no concert, so if I had daylight, I would let that thing fly. You know
That's
what I mean?
before Steph Curry came into the game. That's why they were calling you Red.
I didn't come around to Steph time, so no one's gonna be like Steph Curry. You know what I mean? Because by the time Steph came around, man, I was overseas playing. So, back then I was they was calling me JJ in high school. But now it's more so Paul George, man, because I've got a lot of contracts off defense, and I've guarded a lot of teams' best players. Even my first championship, I guarded, you know what I mean, the guy who was like supposed to be the man of the league, and locked him up and just being able to score, you know what I'm saying, and play an inside out type game. So I've always played at three pretty much on any level. You know what I'm saying? So being able to be inside out. So Paul George, I'd say probably is the guy usually between Paul and Ray and Rip. I mean, I know a lot of guys don't know Rip, remember Rip, but yeah, between the three guys.
Now, you mentioned the championship. How many of them have you won in your career?
I have three. I have two in Peru, and I have one in Germany.
How did it feel winning your first title? Like, what went through your mind when you win, the buzzer goes off, you're given the trophy? Like, what's going through your mind at that moment?
Honestly, bro, like it's a surreal feeling, man. Because we won districts and stuff in high school, but like that wasn't the same because like when you're in high school, you kind of just like you think you have stress and stuff, but you don't. You know what I mean? Like everything, your parents, you living at home, you got parents giving you money, whatever you may be working. For me, it was I got a chance to really, really exhale because I was ready to go home. I'm not gonna lie. I had been there for like 6 months. I was ready to go home, and then the holidays was coming up, and I wanted to, from what we understood, because I had two other Americans on my team, from what we understood, we were going to be done before Christmas. So we were planning on being home for Christmas. So my parents were going to Georgia, so I was going to surprise them in Augusta, in Georgia, for my aunt. My aunt was having a retirement party for Christmas, so I was going to surprise them. So we found out like 2 weeks before Christmas, like a week before Christmas, that we weren't going to be able to go home then because the championship got pushed back like a week. And then they had some rules. They had these rules that after we had won the championship, we had to stay another week and play like a consolation game against another team And if we didn't play that, we wouldn't be champion. It was something, so then we had to end up staying. But man, after that buzzer, I was pissed off because we had to stay. At that time, I had a long distance relationship. Me and her were going through it, so we were like breaking up, hooking back up and stuff. So I was stressed about that, and I was tired. My body was tired, and I just was ready to go home. So when that buzzer and everything was riding on us winning the league because we were tied number one, and we were expected, everybody was expecting us to win it. That's what our whole season was like riding on. It was like championship buzz. So when we won, bro, like I remember just standing, just standing, man. I just stood like for like 3-4 minutes and I just couldn't move, man. And people all around me surrounded around me, and I just was just like, and it was surreal because that was their first championship, I believe, for that city.
Okay.
So they were, it was a party, man. They were hype. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We were hype. It was they had the parade going, all of that. Yeah, it was surreal, man. It was a feeling I always dreamed about, honestly.
That's what's up, man. Let's get to some current sports before we get out of here. The NBA, man. Who's your favorite team in the NBA? I know who it is, but who's your favorite team?
Oh, the Lake Show, man. I gotta follow Bron till he leave, man.
That's why I say I know who it is.
I gotta follow Bron, man. The Lake Show, man. Our Lakers, man. Our Lakers.
What do you think is gonna happen with the Lakers? LeBron is out with the injury, so is AD. Still not clear really when both of them are gonna return. What do you think is gonna happen with the Lakers this season?
Man, I'm hoping AD is fine now, but they're just resting him just to, to be safe. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that LeBron is not as hurt as they may think he is, because obviously if we don't have both LeBron and AD, like we're not gonna win. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's just not gonna happen. We need both of them. If we can get both of them back before the end of the season, before the playoffs start, I think we are favorites to repeat. Obviously, the Nets are phenomenal. But they got to come out the East. I mean, they got to come out the East, man. Things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, God forbid, any kind of injury, but like things happen on the court. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as KD's not back, I don't see them winning without KD. I know they're winning a lot of games now, but playoffs, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think as long as we get all of them back, I think we are favored to repeat. But if we don't, it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good.
Talking about the Nets, do you have any issue with the Nets stockpiling talent the way that they're doing it?
Hell yes, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm 33, man. Yes, I ain't gonna say no. Hell yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm from the old school, man. You know what I mean? So we both. How old are you? You 33?
I'm 33 also. Yeah.
Right. So we the same age. So we came at the same time. So, bro, I never we had competitors back then, like competitors. I have never, like, why would you want? I can understand. Okay, when they said, okay, they got KD, they got Kyrie. Okay, cool, whatever. Even when they got James Harden, okay, cool, whatever. But like, come on, man. Like, really? I mean, how many guys do you need? It's not. I mean, especially I'm surprised in KD, honestly, because I know he went there to like really prove. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to get away from that situation. I'm like, bro, you might as well stay and go to State. What's the difference? You got the same thing you had to go to State, except for in going to State, you knew you was gonna win. Now you done it again. Now if you lose, oh man.
I'll say this about Kevin Durant. I'll say this about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, even at this moment, is one of the greatest basketball players. He's a top 50 guy for sure. But I'll say this. Yeah. Even though he's won 2 NBA finals, I still think a player like Dirk Nowitzki is better than him at the moment, just because of what they did and what they did as the lead guy. Now, obviously Kevin Durant was the best player on that Warriors team, but he also had Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, who are two of the best shooters ever. Draymond Green, a great defender. You got a good head coach in Steve Kerr. You had guys coming off the bench like Iguodala, Livingston.
Iggy.
So the team is stacked. And then not only that, it's the team that you had a chance at beating just the year prior. So yes, I would take if I had in my current rankings, I do have a player like Dirk Nowitzki who has won championship, but was the guy and brought it every night and didn't shy away from the competition. That's why at the moment I have Dirk Nowitzki above Kevin Durant. Now, obviously, Kevin Durant wins some more titles. He's going to move up. I actually don't have an issue with how the Nets are doing it because, I mean, all those guys kind of in a way have something to prove. I mean, Kyrie hasn't really done anything without LeBron, and Harden hasn't won yet. And yes, they're all stars. And at the end of their careers, we're going to say that there's probably 3, maybe 4 Hall of Famers on the team when you speak about Blake Griffin, depending on how the rest of his career goes. So I understand it's going to look like a deep team, but the team really ain't that stacked like other teams. So for me personally, I don't see a big problem with how the Nets are handling it. It's just, I've said this about the current players. Okay, you wanna make these quote unquote super teams. Then in my personal rankings, like I'm just not gonna have you as high as someone else. Like that's just how it is. I know partly it's the media because the media always you got to win rings. So then they win rings, and now it's like, well, hold on, like not that way. So
I mean that's the biggest thing. I mean, I'm definitely with you. They have a lot of holes in their team, especially defensively, which is why I tell people like the playoffs is the regular season, especially now, what I'm saying, with COVID and they started back the season a lot faster than they usually do. Guys are exhausted, guys are getting hurt, you know what I mean? Like they're not 100%. So as you see, you're a basketball guru, you watch, you know what I mean? A lot of times teams not even playing 100% each night. You know what I mean? Like you can see they kind of go in half. It's not what it's going to be in the playoffs. When the playoffs get here, you know what I mean? When you got that 7-game series, it's a whole different beast. And every hole you got in your team comes out in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got the same team. You know what I'm saying? You got to beat them 4 out of 7 times. So I think that, I mean, like you said, I mean, in that way, I've thought about it that way too. I've been like, well, a lot of guys they do got something to prove and kind of on the decline of their career. So we're listening to the names and we're like, oh, Blake from the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? LaMarcus Aldridge when he was at his prime. Like we're thinking that and we're like, yo, like these players aren't those same guys now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they have a lot of holes, like I said, especially defensively. Like they I mean, I guess they don't roll in the regular season, man. Because I mean, like I said, everybody rolling in the regular season right now, pretty much. You know what I mean? You can beat anybody on any given night because, like I said, these teams they're not playing 100%. You know, they don't have any fans in the building like that. You know, so guys, it's kind of like scrimmages in a way. As far as KD, yeah, I'm with you. Like I said, I mean, hey man, like you gotta, that first going to that team after they lost, I'm too competitive for that, man. I'm just not gonna lie. There's no way I'd have been able to do it. I don't care what they said to me. I'd be like, no, like we gonna see y'all again next year. Like, but I mean, it's a different NBA now. These guys, like you said, the media kind of pushes these guys to do that because they keep talking about they didn't win. I'm with you. Dirk got it out the mud. Dirk took YMCA players to me to the like I mean outside of Sean Marion and Jason Terry, you got JJ Bariff coming out. I'm like, man, yeah, Dirk got his out the mud. He was on one team his whole career. So I'm like you. I put Dirk over top of him too. I mean, KD is a hell of a scorer, but I got a lot of guys over top of him that grinded and got theirs. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, until he give me one, that's I can see that he, you know what I mean? Like he's the guy. Like I mean, look, they may win without him. You know what I'm saying? Look how good they look. He ain't even playing. Like, no, you take Derek off that team, they get bounced out. If they don't even make the playoffs, to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, you know, that's when you know you got yours out the mind. You take LeBron on any of his teams, they don't make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's any team he's been on. So, you know, it's gonna be fun to watch, man. It's gonna be real fun to watch. I know one thing: they better not lose.
I always wrap up my interviews of anyone who follows or plays basketball. I always wrap this up with this question: top 5 NBA players of all time, ranked from 5 to 1 on the spot. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, 5. God, let me see. Let's go. Bill Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Magic.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say Wilt because there's not enough footage on me to say Wilt. I don't want to see him play. We don't know. It's just rumors. I can't say Wilt. So I want people to know that I love Wilt. I was gonna put Wilt, but I got to go Bill Russell, Magic. Let's see. You already know my 1 and 2, so I'm trying.
I don't know it, so you gonna have to tell me. I don't know your 1 and 2.
I gave you my 5 and 4. So let me see.
Right.
Who was my 3 still? I'm still gonna go Bird, man. Give me Bird at 3.
Okay. All right. 2. Who's 2?
Give me Larry. Give me Larry at 3. Oh man! All right, man. Good. I got it. I got to do it. All right, I got to do it. As big as a fan of I am. Give me Braun at 2. Give me Mike at 1.
Okay. All right. I can't give you my list.
The reason why I want. Huh?
I can't give you my list because I am in the process with my co-host. We're creating the top 50 players of all time, so I can't give you my list. But yeah, go ahead and give us your reasoning for that.
The reason why is because the reason why especially Braun is number 2 and then Mike is number 1 because I know people we had debate about this. Obviously, statistically, LeBron is the best player to ever play. It's not going to be anybody else to get those numbers. I don't care who it is. It's not going to happen again. But Mike is 6-0 in the finals, and no one has never beat Mike. And the things that Mike has done, like just it ain't gonna be done again. You know, obviously when the documentary came out, man. I mean, I was a big Mike fan before, but just the things that he did, man. I mean, it's just. I mean, he never lost. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one has never beat this man in the fight. He never knew what it felt like to lose in the finals. I don't care about the playoffs. In the finals, he never knew what it like. Like, if they would have kept playing, he probably could have won at least 3, probably at least 2 or 3 more. You know what I'm saying? Like that is next level, man. Especially with one team, like that is it's phenomenal, man. Like mentally. So I gotta go. Like statistically, LeBron is the best, but I gotta go Mike and then Braun. I chose what I say in 3 between. I chose Larry Bird obviously because he's a dog, man. I like dogs. You know what I mean? Like Larry was that guy. You know, I had to put my boy Magic on there, man. Best point guard ever played. You know, 6'8", pushing. I mean, playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. You know what I mean? Like ain't gonna never be another Showtime. And I had to get Bill Russell, man, because anybody who got 11 rings and I mean doing what he used to do at that size, man, it's crazy. I was gonna throw Shaq in there, but Shaq is in my top 10. But I had to pay homage to Bill Russell because without Bill Russell, there wouldn't be no Shaq anybody else. So
that's true. You know, that's true.
I had to go.
Chris,
you say you get your list together?
Yeah, getting my list together. We did one 3 years ago, but obviously a lot has changed in the last 3 years, so we making adjustments. So we'll be doing that probably this summer. We'll do it when things slow down a little bit. But yeah, Chris, man,
what you think about that list?
Huh? Say that
What you
again.
think about that list?
I mean,
What you think about that list?
It's good. I'll say that it's good. It is it's well informed. That's what I'll say. Because some other people, they'll say stuff and the reasoning they use, you'll be like, well, that doesn't match what the way you're trying to rank them. So I'll say it's well informed.
you got to know your homework. You got to know your homework with this. You know what I'm saying? Like when you were talking about a top 5 list, you can't. I mean, if you're somebody you just watched basketball from 2000, 2020, then you know what I mean. You don't even know about what happened back in the day. Like an all-time list is an all-time list. You know what I mean? Like I've seen people. I've thrown Jerry West in my top 5 before. People are like, what, Jerry West? I'm like, did you watch Jerry West, the logo guy? Did you watch him play? Like, you know, have you watched film on him? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's definitely, like you said, it's a well-informed, you know what I mean, list. Like, I mean, obviously everybody got Bron and Mike in a top 5. I've seen some people that don't have Bron in top 5, which I don't even entertain, but you know what I mean? There are people, surprisingly, there are people, especially a lot of older guys that are just like, oh, you know, you're not in my top. And I'm like, we can't even have a conversation because, like, you know what I mean? Like, statistically, that don't even make sense. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand you may say, okay, no, I got him 3 or 4, you know what I mean? 4, like, whatever, but like not even top, like, come on, man. You know, but yeah, it's all right, man. Like I said, I be doing my homework, man. I love watching old school guys play, so that's from the old school and new school.
That's what's up, man. Chris, thank you for coming on. Greatly appreciated, especially with the 13 or was it 11-hour time difference. Greatly appreciated. Before we go, any shout outs that you want to give?
Man, just shout out to everybody. Like you said, it's 12-hour difference, so it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning here, Tuesday. So you know, we're there ahead. Just shout out to all my family, man, family in Georgia, all my family, friends in Virginia. You know what I mean? Everybody back home. Shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hope they enjoyed it, and you know, just appreciate you having me on, man. Like you said, it's been a while, man. It's good to see you.
I know, man. Hey, when this pandemic ends, man, we gotta make plans to link up for sure when you back in the country.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Let's do it, man.
Greatly appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
All right, you too, bro.
All right, that was my interview with my boy Chris Randolph. Did you like that, BigThad?
Yeah. Definitely like that. I definitely like this take on the game and being a professional player. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of these kids don't realize there's a lot more than just the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So there's leagues everywhere and like decent leagues. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope, man.
And like you mentioned, you can make a living out of it.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Make a living out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's still, it's not going to be, you know, the max contract of the NBA, $40 million, but it's going to be more than the average worker in America. So,
right.
For a shorter period of time also.
Right. Exactly.
And being a professional basketball overseas still allows for opportunities to play in multiple leagues throughout the year. So
right. Exactly.
You
could definitely stack your chips.
Mm-hmm. We do have some more sports to talk about before we get out of here.
All right.
Some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Let me start that sound. I just want to play with the sound of the soundboard.
All right.
Breaking news, and it has to deal with Deshaun Watson.
Jesus.
Nike has suspended its sponsorship with Deshaun Watson. Beats by Dre has ended their deal. That is on the heels of a young lady by the name of Ashley Solis, who is the first victim to publicly speak out against Deshaun Watson. Also, she is the first victim to press criminal charges against Deshaun Watson. The number now is, I believe, 19 women, or is it more?
Man, I think it's like 20 right now.
Okay.
I think it's like 20, 22 right now. I think there's more than 22 right now, and then in addition, you know, the 18 that spoke positively about him. So that's like what 40,
Yeah.
40-ish right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm still trying to figure out how you got 40
massage
therapists and right now it seems like this is all has happened within not even a year. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 months. You know what I'm saying? So like obviously you can't be traveling that much. There's only that much days in the year. I'm so confused, bro. I'm like, I still don't understand it. And then you're going through Instagram and oh man, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
Look,
by any means.
Nothing has been ruled upon. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think he did conduct himself not well. Like I said last week, at the least, it is sexual misconduct. And at the max, it is full blown like, yo, you sexually assaulting women out here. And like you said, for him to have close to 40 different massage therapists throughout his NFL career, and like you said, this seems to be within the last year, but he's only been in the year 4 years. Like, and for you to have 40 massage therapists, something seems sketchy. I honestly think this is his thing. He likes going to rub and tugs. You know, he likes the proverbial happy ending. I think that's what he likes, and that's his thing. And look, if it is his thing,
that's your thing. I mean,
there's a way to get it done. Like, I think there are people out there who actually want to do that for you. And I think if you look,
but it's not massage therapist, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's not massage therapist. Yes, you could go get a massage, but that's completely different than what we're talking about here. We're not talking about like regular massage, like you go to Cancun and I'm gonna get a massage with my wife and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? That's a massage. We're talking about massage therapists here, guys. This is like what, and like I told someone in the family, like I know guys who play professional sports that have massage therapists on their payroll to take care of, you know, certain injuries or, you know, chiropractors, you know, all that. You know what I'm saying? But from what I'm seeing is that, yeah, there's some folks in these allegations that you know, they're like, yeah, this is my job, I'm a massage therapist, you know, this and this and this, and I don't know, everything seems weird to me that everything's through DMs on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it was referrals from chiropractors or referrals from other massage therapists. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is all social media. And I understand social media. You could run your business off of social media and all that, but like you're in DMs, yo. Like that's just a bad move in my mind from the jump.
Yeah, man. I look, and like I'll say this, like I was trying to say before. If this is Deshaun Watson's deal that he loves the massage with the happy ending, there are plenty of women who will do that with full consent.
Right.
And then you just got to make it known up front. Like, hey, this is what we going to do. And that's where you weed out, okay, who's down and who's not. Now, look, I know someone's going to probably say, yo, you sound like a creep saying that. Look, there are people who this is their fetish.
Yeah, this is what they do. Like,
so
a lot of those massage parlors that have been, you know, shut down for certain things, they've been doing this for a long time. Like, it's literally a thing. You know
So,
what I'm saying?
so like I said, if this is your thing, just be upfront with these young women and say, "This is what I want." Don't bring them on false pretenses that, oh,
Right.
you're gonna come for this, and now I'm gonna lock the door. Before you even know it, I'm naked and erect. Like, come on, like this is
Right.
not the way to go.
Right.
The NFL is investigating it. They just saying they're following the situation and they're investigating the situation. At this point now, with one woman being public and that same woman now with criminal charges against him, do you think the career is over in the NFL?
Man. From a societal standpoint, they let Michael Vick back in the NFL
Mm-hmm.
for the dog fighting stuff. Now, mind you, like a lot of that had to do with his family and whatnot, but
Mm-hmm.
he was able to come back. And you know how folks like their dogs.
True.
You know what I'm saying? They like their dogs more than human beings.
I mean, we saw it with Ted Cruz a few weeks ago that it was
Yeah.
more appalling that he left the dog in the frozen house.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people in this country that love their dogs and their dogs are their children and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And more power to you. I mean, that's what you do. You love dogs. It is what it is. Like me, a dog's a dog. A dog's a pet. A dog's not a child to me. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love dogs. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm choosing between a kid, a human being, and a dog, it's a human being from jump, regardless to me. But it is what it is. So there's a good possibility that he'll be back. But if I look at it on a whole nother route, there's a good possibility this might completely end his career, at least for a couple years. You know what I'm saying? At least a couple years. You know what I'm saying? But we know there's a good chance he's not playing this season anyways because of the NFL, just from the NFL, not even from any of the cases or, you know what I'm saying? Just the NFL though. There's a good possibility he's not playing at all this season.
I think we've only seen this precedence with Ben Roethlisberger, and there are two big glaring differences. Ben Roethlisberger being a white quarterback and this happening before the Me Too era.
Right.
Those are the two glaring differences. And Ben Roethlisberger was ultimately acquitted of the criminal trial and still was suspended for 4 games.
Right. Antonio Brown
was recently suspended for 8 games before he was able to sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a similar sexual misconduct in a way, not the frequency, but the similar thing.
Yeah. And other actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've seen that. This is my thing. Like,
just with the amount, man.
It's the amount, and then also he is a black quarterback. He's not a wide receiver. He's not a safety. It's not an edge rusher. It's a black.
How long was Vic out?
2 years.
2 years.
He missed 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think. I think it could possibly be that long, man. Depending on the outcome of the cases or whatever. But I think just the NFL alone, I would say 8 to 12 games. Right now.
If he is found not guilty on the criminal trial, I think he still should be suspended for 8 games, half the season.
Oh, I mean, I think the 8 games is guaranteed, regardless. Yeah, regardless of any outcome, it's a minimum 8 games.
If he is found guilty and there's no jail time, it needs to be the whole season. If he's found guilty and there's jail time, it needs to be forever, as long as he's gonna go to prison for.
Right.
And yeah, that's what I think. But yeah, This ain't looking really good for him. Not at all. And it's really unfortunate because, like we said last week, this is not the guy we expected this to happen to.
Right. And see, the funny thing about it is now also is that it's coming to find out that this lawyer now, the team might actually be included in a lot of these suits now because the lawyer is going after saying that there's gotta be, the team had to know in some shape or form, you know what I'm saying, that they had to know, or they, knew about it but didn't do anything about it. You know
I
what
think
I'm
that
saying?
I honestly think Busby is doing that to save face.
Possibly.
Nothing's gonna come out of when it comes to the team. They're gonna be like, oh, the team knew nothing, which this is a great segue. And I know we've been on now for 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I think it's still important to discuss this. Do you watch the I Am Athlete podcast or listen to it?
I've listened to a couple of a couple clips, and that's why I was gonna have Brandon Marshall as a possible chump of the week this week. So I watched a little bit of it.
So this was the big contention on the podcast this week. The title of the podcast was actually along the lines of, all families have feuds, and this is one of them because all of them are boys. But it was a big argument. For those that don't know, I Am Athlete is hosted by Brandon Marshall, Chad Ochocinco, Fred Taylor, and Channing. Is it Channing Crowder or Channing Crowder? No,
I think it's Chad Crowder.
Chad
something. Chad. It's definitely Chad.
Is it Channing? I think it's Channing. He played with the Miami Dolphins. But either way, he was a good player. But of the four, he is actually the least of the four, which is why.
As soon as I looked at him, I'm like, I don't recognize him.
Nah, he was good, but he just he wasn't Chad or Brandon or
Fred
or Fred
or even Fred,
And then the guest was Andre Johnson this week.
Right.
And they were talking, about the Deshaun Watson issue, and then morphed into the NFL and how, the question came, can the NFL end up being like the NBA where the NFL players have power? And Chad Johnson said no. Fred Taylor said no. Channing Crowder kind of was like, he basically said no, but it was Brandon Marshall that said yes, they can, and we're starting to see it. And so they asked him, well, what do you mean that, we're starting to see it? He mentioned how the NFL players are more likely to now voice their opinions in politics, and they're more willing to protest now, especially after what happened with George Floyd. And he mentioned how, yes, now you have Russell Wilson who's speaking out about stuff. And then obviously right after the George Floyd incident, the big PSA, which ended up being Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, I believe Russell Wilson was in it, and other prominent athletes, football players.
Right.
So the point that Chad was saying, he was like, look, those are the 1% of the 1% in the NFL.
Right.
Those are the guys who make the money. He said the rest of the league does not make big money. So you sit there and protest, you can be out the league and no one will know because you're a nobody.
Right.
Unlike the NBA where contracts are guaranteed. And then Chad also brought up, he said, look, do you think it's a coincidence that Deshaun Watson voiced that he wanted out of Houston, and literally a week and a half later, we start hearing allegations about his sexual misconduct? And look, it seems like he's into something, but the team was covering up, in my opinion.
Right.
And that was the contention that was on the podcast this week. The podcast I Am Athlete. So yeah, and it's just, let me bring it back full circle. I don't think any of this stuff would have been coming out if Deshaun Watson didn't voice that he wanted out of Houston.
Yeah.
So,
like, I'm kind of wondering, like, are all these massage therapists in Houston? Like, are they all in Houston?
Well, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
We don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it now it's kind of like, yeah. So he's leaving Houston. Like, regardless of if somebody wanted to go after him, you know what I'm saying? He's like, Deshaun wants out of Houston, but you have all these folks that he's been, you know, paying money to for whatever. You know what I'm saying? And now there's a possibility he's rolling out, and he just got this big contract. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's money that's leaving Houston. We don't want this to happen. So hey, here, you know, I'm gonna release this. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But still, with the amount, man.
Yeah,
The amount of it all that's the one thing that's throwing me off, man.
yeah, it's
Like,
a lot.
usually when people start talking stuff, like, you don't see this amount of people come out on either side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
On either side, you don't see this many coming out. Like, who all came? Like, think about like Jeffrey Epstein and all them when they were doing their dirt, like
Mhm.
their crazy dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't a lot that came out. You know what I'm saying? On either side with those. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's just something about it is just off. It's just off to me. On either side, it's just off to me. Something's wrong altogether.
Now, before we leave this topic, this situation was similar in some ways. The Kobe Bryant rape trial, where he was an active player, one of the best in the league. The accusation of rape came about. They had the trial. Trial was actually going on during the regular season.
Right.
You know, Kobe had to deal with that. Ultimately, Kobe was found not guilty, and he was able to still continue his career and ended his career in a way where most people don't really remember that.
Right.
I think the big difference is it was the NBA.
Yeah, true.
And he's Kobe Bryant. So those are the two differences. Kobe Bryant was a world icon, even at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
When that was what? How many? That was only what, 5 or 6 years into the league. Deshaun Watson is known in America.
Right.
That's the thing. So I don't know, man. I think this ain't looking really good for him. And I know I said that before, but it ain't looking really good for Deshaun Watson. Some other breaking news. I just wanted to use the sound effect. Kevin Durant is going to be in the starting lineup tonight, or at least he's going to play tonight.
Right.
Against the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna say like it's the Memphis Grizzlies or some team like that.
So yeah, he is back.
Okay.
So I know earlier we spoke about we didn't know when they were coming back. At least he's back. James Harden doesn't look like he's playing tonight, but yeah, man. So he is there. I do remember I was talking about fantasy basketball earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in second place. I'm up 3.5 games behind first place. I
Okay.
narrowed that lead because I actually beat the first place person.
Okay.
So I narrowed that lead. Big Matt is 17 games behind first place. So there is a difference of 13.5 games between Matt and I. So just want to rub it in there. Now Matthew does say, look, you got to wait till the end of the year. His team is debilitating. Oh my gosh. They have so many injuries. Like, I'm looking at his team right now. John Collins was injured. LeBron James injured.
Yeah.
At one point last week, Blake Griffin in and out of the lineup. He had some other players that were in and out of the lineup, but LeBron James is the guy that's really killing it for Matt.
Matt don't have a good time with fantasy teams though.
Matt is
like injury on fantasy.
Yeah. So yeah. Matt won our family league the first year, and then since then just didn't do anything since. He's been getting them draft picks though.
Right.
He's been getting them draft picks, stockpiling them draft picks.
Right.
Trust the process, man.
Out here like the Dolphins, just getting draft picks.
Oh man, BigThad, I want to thank you for everything that you do.
No doubt, Cuzzo. No doubt.
Man, it's been a pleasure. Shout out to Chris Randolph, who we did our interview with. Make sure you check it out if you missed it. It's always going to be available on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast where podcasts are available. That includes Apple, Anchor, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn. Also, you can watch on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Just search for the Sports Reality Podcast. Subscribe, leave a review, pass the word, pass the podcast on to somebody else.
Yep.
So we can grow and reach more people. Shout out to OSS 980. We got more news coming out of that. We'll be doing a collaboration for the NFL draft for the first round. So stay tuned for the announcements for that, but we'll be doing a live stream. Shout out to Shut Your Face, Soggy Nachos, 4th and 13. Did you finish that episode with Malik?
Yo, I can't. No, I'm like 15 minutes in, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know if I could keep watching it, but I kind of need to just because. But it is hilarious listening to it though.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, check them out. 4th and 13. What You Expect podcast with my boy Dwa. Got to get you on here pretty soon. Also, shout out to Erica Fernandez, aka Curls and Sports, Karita Parks of Parks PR, and also Grady Diaz of ESPN's Undefeated and SB Nation and FIBA. They were part of the month of March, the women's month. So we did women's in sports. If you missed any of those, you can go back and listen or watch those episodes. They were really good. Anything else before you roll out of here, BigThad?
No, I'm good, man. Y'all be safe. Get that COVID shot. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, it's open. You can get it.
Yep.
Don't be scared.
All right, BigThad. Thank you for everything you do. Until next time, everyone. Sports Reality. Peace.